Hey, welcome to Mark Goes to the Movies, the only podcast I know of that has 101 episodes exactly. This is 101. Uh, this is gonna have a topic instead of the previous two where we went through a box of memories, and in this one we went through 100 was the watched Halloween Kills in its entirety for an hour and 41 minutes. So we're gonna try to make this one way less than the previous ones. So you had an hour ago for the box of memories, and then you had an hour and 47 minutes for for the Halloween kills. I'm gonna put some Halloween commercials on. It feels like the Halloween bug is in me is in me. Damn, can't spell it all. No, then we're gonna go to. I'm gonna tell you about my stepdad Kenny. This is not a feel sorry for me episode. This is not a uh God, Mark has had such a bad life episode. This is just it's just an episode, just getting it out. Getting all the stuff off my chest. Cleaning out my closet, I guess. So we'll call this episode. So yeah, my stepdad, Kenneth Riddle, he's a fucking idiot. Um what had happened was, so I'd actually went to therapy for my mom when she died. Well, it was a lot of things. It's not really depression. It's just like wanting to just I talked to somebody about it, but uh, I had a pretty hard time when I broke up with an ex girlfriend named Courtney. We had our house together that we were buying, and that story. I came home one day, or came home from lunch. I just swung by and got some cotton candy from the Granite City St. Mary's Fair. You have that Catholic church, if you're aware. They throw this big fair, and I got some cotton candy, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stop by the house and see if Courtney wants any. And sure enough, I drove by there, and she was putting her stuff away, like kitchen stuff, just packing it away. And I was like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, well, I think you should stay here, and I'll sell you the house, and then I'll live in Missouri. And it really felt like it was a backwards move for me. So I said, oh, well, I'll just break up and just move on and go our separate ways. And we did that eventually after like 4 or 5 months of me just trying to find a place to live and just trying to move on. It was very difficult for me though, because that was like the most normal relationship I ever had in my life. So it was tough. Our work has a EAP program, an employee assistant program is what it stands for, and it's the one you can talk to somebody and they give you free therapy for like 11 sessions or something like that. It's either a certain number of sessions they'll give you for free, and in that they're just trying to figure out how they can help out the best way possible. So I kind of talked about a variety of subjects. I never dealt with my grandma's death. I just ignored it. I don't even think people even realized I wasn't there at the funeral. They were just all fighting, and it was like it was too much for me. I didn't want to put myself in that situation, so I didn't go. And I don't. I think it was the right move, still to this day, to skip that one. And then we talked about that. We talked about my mom's death, which again never got over because I never properly handled it the correct way, anyways. And then that's when it came out where it's like, well, maybe you hold your stepdad responsible for your mom dying. And I do. I do think that he did it. I think he had something else involved in it. Uh, just when she died from dehydration. I was never told anything either way, either. That's the shitty part about this. No one ever said, "Hey, this is how your mom died." They're just, "This is how she died," or "This is she's dead." That's it. It wasn't until a couple months after she died that my older cousin Kaylee told me how she died. It was dehydration. That's what the coroner said. There was no autopsy. There was nothing. She was just putting it around super quick. And I don't. I mean, it seems like I know he let her die. Like she was sick. She had lupus, but the flu is what she had. And he's just not checking on her or anything. He's just getting drunk. She died on New Year's Eve, so he was just getting drunk in the other room while she died. So yeah, 100% on this fucking piece of shit. But he's done far worse things. Not worse things, but he's done pretty bad things. He's a garbage human being. I the therapist was like, you should confront him and get all these things out. So I tried to message him on Facebook. I left him a long message, just calling him out on everything, and he just blocked me. Is what he did. So this will be my therapy, my listening session. Because he's a fucking creep for one. Like I'm pretty sure, uh, probably a child molester. If we're being honest, like he makes women feel uncomfortable. When my mom died, so when my mom died, all right, I'll tell you the whole story. When my mom died, I was living in 104 Ohio, so the street behind me now, living in the trailer. My ex-wife came in, was like, "Mark, your mom died." Uh, Again, someone tells you that stuff, you don't even process it. You're just like, "Oh man," don't even like. When she had her surgery for a gallbladder, I was like, she could die, something could go wrong, and I was like preparing myself for that. Well, she didn't. She lived, and then yeah, there was like a dirty. And he's a fucking slob. He's a piece of shit. Um, doesn't pick up after himself. We lived most of my life with roaches and mice, and like it's because he's a dirty piece of shit. When she died, we went over to their house and everything, and I just remember he was like, "Stay strong." That's the only thing he could say to me. They lived in the fucking living room because he couldn't, go sleep in because he killed her. The guilt probably got to him. Further notice is that Worldwide will give you 1.5 times your salary. So they had enough money to bury her, but he didn't pay for the tombstone. So she'd have a tombstone for years. So no one, like you said, to like figure out where she was buried based on when the dirt was fresh and where our picture was. And that's how I knew. It wasn't until he conned his son Brian and to actually getting the fucking tombstone himself. But like he had plenty of money. I didn't get shit. There was no like, hey, you want to go through your mama's belongings and you could spread it out and everything. No, this piece of motherfucking garbage. I'm sorry to keep using the same shit, but it's really frustrating. Uh, this piece of garbage gave all of her clothes away, threw away all of her stuff pretty much. Uh, she gave me the Jeep eventually, but they broke the Jeep. They didn't put oil in the Jeep, so they cracked the engine. So the Jeep that they're like, hey, yeah, you can have that because you're buying a car through a car dealership that's really expensive through Buy Rider. And it's like, yeah, just take the Jeep, dude. Uh, After they fucking broke it and it was useless, so I got $300 from it. That's it. The other two, my brother and sister, they just kind of mooched off him, where you got that huge chunk of money. He ends up buying a house. It's actually his brother's house, and God, it was around the time I started separated from my ex-wife that he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to make my move on Tanya. After like 4 months, 4 months he moves on. He's in love with this big fat lady who's dating his brother. But like it's really fucked up because like when I had no place to go, I was like, well, my mom, kind of paid for this house, and he was like, yeah, you could live here. You get to help out with bills and stuff. And so I moved in, and it was like me and the kids, and we lived in a 1 bedroom. in the basement, but like, so this basement had a wood floor, and what happened is when there's no living in this house, the water went up. There was electricity running. The sub pump didn't pump the water out, so it destroyed the floor. So there was constantly like slugs and snails all over the fucking floor. And yeah, we lived in a fucking closet, pretty much. Um, when his big fat wife moved in, they uh they gave the one of the extra rooms went to I guess her movies. And like it wasn't like, hey, you guys can live up here with the air conditioning and stuff. And no, they were like, this is Tanya's room. And the dude was like fucking walking around naked, getting blowjobs in the living room. Sorry, it's gonna be a crass episode, but this is just the dirty shit he did. Uh, the dumb fuck. Like my mom deserves so much better than this guy. She was so close to leaving him. Also, before she died, she was like going to move in with me, and then I was like, sure, no problem. You can live with me, mom. I'd love to have you. Take care of yourself. But he gets drunk, and then he gets overdraft fees and stuff, and then like they got to pay for that shit. He got DUIs my entire childhood. He couldn't drive, and that just pissed him off. Just the stuff he did to me. I remember when I was like 9 years old. He was like, "Hey, I just hate your face because you look like your dad." Because he's my stepdad. So he's my biological dad. But yeah, telling like a 9-year old, "I hate your face because you look like your dad." That's why I treat you like shit, dude. Like you never made any. You know, there was no. I can't think of a single nice thing to say about him at all. Like nothing. There's nothing good to say about this man who made women feel uncomfortable, especially like my cousin Kaylee. You know, like he was like talking about how hot she was. Like, dude, that's your fucking niece. What is wrong with you, you sick fuck? Like, and he's just a pervert. He's a pervert and a piece of shit. Um, he would get drunk and he'd eat my kids' food. Like, I'm just a single father trying to take care of my kids. I didn't have a car. I had a wagon that we'd go to Dollar General and get TV dinners to feed the kids throughout the week. And this dumb fuck would just get drunk at the Legion, come home and eat every meal. And all the TV dinners I bought, like five or six, just one have to just eat all of them and be like, sorry, dude, I ate all your food. And it's the fucking roaches that we live just growing up because he can't fucking clean up after himself. He's a dirty, dirty scumbag. And so, like, right now, I hate any sight of bugs. Won't do it. I'll burn the fucking house down if I see a bug. Because I'm not ever going back to that. Talk to my cousins. 100% back me up on this. It was disgusting. Like you couldn't eat cereal because there's bugs in there, and like it's like, dude, how did you manage to fuck up so bad? Like you guys both had factory jobs at one point. Like how were we so poor? He didn't have a license because he can't stop drinking and driving. Every January, he would wreck our car. The levees, like it's usually what they use to keep the river from coming into like the rest of the town. They're called levees. They're like narrow hills, and this dumb piece of shit fucking flipped 4 or 5 cars just nonstop. I remember the first time and then we get a new one with income tax, and then he'd go wreck it, and we'd be stuck with our car for the entire year. And I was like, Mom, what are we doing? Like, why? Now she would have left him. Now I think in this kind of a world where no one stays together forever, she would have left him. And like the sad thing is that when my mom died, everyone felt bad for him. Like, dude, this guy didn't even love her. Like he's fucking this fat bitch. Which is disgusting. Like she was so big she can't fit through the wall, like the door. You gotta walk sideways. Again, nice person, right? But if you're fucking around with Captain Scumbag, like I have no nice thing to say. I have nothing nice to say about you. Also, Just the dumb shit that this dude used to say. He was like, "How I loved you when I the first time I saw you," and it's like, "Yeah, you was still married to my mother the first time you saw her, because she was fucking your brother." Like, it's fucking gross, right? Like, I know it's not. That's that can't be normal. We can't normalize this shit. Where it's like, oh, maybe I'll try the other brother. Like, fucking gross. I get you're big and like you're not losing weight, but like, goddamn, dude. There was a whole there was a bunch of embarrassing stories. Let me just I won't get to tell these embarrassing stories anymore because I got kicked out of that family. There was a couple of them though. And I'm like, this dude was a special needs man. He had to have been for some of the shit he came up with. One time my mom and him got into a fight, and his resolution to this was he was going to jump on the railroad tracks on a train car and I guess go south. Who the fuck knows where he was going? But I remember he was packing his shit. He was gonna take Brian. My family's very weird. They had clear favorites. I was neither one. I was in the middle. But Brian was my stepdad's favorite, and Brianna was my mom's favorite because she was the girl that she always wanted. I was in the middle, so I had no allegiance to anybody apparently. And yeah, they did some crazy shit. That was like, hey man, you're way like I because like I'm way older than what that it is now. But it's like, dude, what the fuck are you thinking? He was gonna take his son, jump on the railroad tracks, and go down to his mom's house in Soje. I don't think he realized that the train tracks didn't go down that way, or maybe he's gonna hitchhike. But yeah, I remember he was packing up his stuff, and he cornered me because I was in the room. We were in there playing. He's like, "I bet you fucking love this, don't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, you're fucking mentally unstable. What do you mean?" It's to the point now where I didn't like being around anybody that drank alcohol. It gives me PTSD sometimes because he would get drunk and just hurl insults at me, like just talk shit, like nonstop every Friday. That's what his whole deal was. He was a stay home dad, and he would just get drunk and just like talk shit. There was a time where it was like I got into a fight with a kid, a neighborhood kid, in front of the house, and he was cheering on the neighborhood kid, saying like, "Beat his ass, Andrew. He's a fucking pussy." And you're like, dude, I'm like 11, 12 years old. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you got some serious problems. I read the note when I did the box memories. It's late in the episode, but yeah, he wrote a note from his he was going to go to North Carolina and learn HVAC stuff and then make a life for us in North Carolina. That was his whole plan. But then, like, yeah, like his brother's also fucked up too. His brother left his ex-wife at a train station, at a bus station. Just left her there, never came back for her. And he was on Maury too. He was on Maury. My uncle Johnny was anyway. He was on Maury because his wife thought he was cheating on him. His wife was all big fat ladies, like fucked up, dude. What else I can tell? Oh, he was jerking off to the Playboy game one time. I do know that. He had like a weird thing for pornography. Like it was all over his bedroom. Like it was really fucked up. He bought a box of pornography one time for like a couple $100, and this is like the internet age, right? It was like, God damn, who has a box full of pornography just sitting in the top of their shelf? They It's a really fucked up shelf, dude. And you're like, yeah, like these guys, they've been like in the late 20s. But one time, yeah, I remember we lived in Chaffee this time, and well, we went to there's a little ice cream store when we first moved to Chaffee, and we all went to get ice cream, and he stayed behind, and he was like, there. And if you don't know, there's a game called the Playboy game, and I forget, I never obviously never played it, but we came back one day, we came back early, I guess, and like he had the door wide open. I walked to my room, and he like zips up his pants real quick, and I was like, obviously he's jerking off to the Playboy game. Like this is the fucking creep shit he did. But no, his stepdad treated him like shit too. Well, so he just passed it along like a fucked up uh hand me down. I do remember he walked across the bridge one time, the Cape Girardeau Bridge, because we didn't have food. We lived in the a junkyard trailer, as I said before. I'm not talking like a bad neighborhood. I'm talking like this was a junkyard where they had a trailer and they're like, we're gonna strap this out. And they're like, well, you guys could actually live in this if you want. And they're like, well, there's no water. Well, you get a hose and there's no electricity. Well, you can run cable electricity, electrical wires. So we can run was it extension cords. We can run extension cords to this place. We can make it a home. And I remember taking showers on the front porch. Like we would get in our or we just get in shorts or swim shorts, and he would spray us down, and like that's how we took showers. Or we go to my grandma's house to take showers. For most of my life, I did not have central heat. We had little units, little space heaters that we ended up destroying because we melt everything in those. We'd put our toys, candy canes especially. What you do is you get candy canes and then you put them on the space heater, and then as long as you don't leave it there to melt and burn, it'd be real nice and soft, and you could chew it up like bubble gum. But no, we lived in that trailer. We didn't have food like ever. We never had food, and what they would do is he walked across the Cape Girardeau Bridge. We lived in Illinois, so there's that bridge down there. You got to walk across. It's not a pedestrian bridge. You're not allowed to walk across it. But this dumbass said he's gonna walk across the bridge and get some Pizza Hut. And what happened is the police ended up getting to him, and they took him to Pizza Hut and then drove him back home. But like I remember not eating shit back at the house. For a large portion of my childhood, we didn't have food. Like there was like always like shitty I don't know, we'd get like eggs, like you get like an egg, and then you poke the yolk because otherwise it will explode. And then you mix it up, and then you put it in a coffee mug and you microwave it, and you put some salt on it, and it's eggs. That's what you do. He would sleep real late, and my mom would usually be working nights, so she would sleep real late as well. There's no one to take care of your kids in the morning, and that's what we did. We'd make shit like that, or like my specialty was is we did get a bunch of turkeys from the Salvation Army. You tell them, hey, I'm 18, give me another turkey, and you get as many free turkeys as you could, and then we'd have turkeys a lot. Uh, and what you do is you usually get like the dark meat because that's what nobody wants. Get the dark meat and you soak it in soy sauce, and you microwave the shit out of it until it's nice and dry, and then you have turkey jerky, is what I call it. Or you do like ham because we'd also get ham too, and it'd be on sale. You get a piece of ham, you soak it in soy sauce, and then you microwave the shit out of it, and it's like a bacon type thing. And those are our poor man specialties. There's a million stories of like, and that's I went to one with my cousins to sit there and talk about how we grew up. There was a funny thing back when me and Courtney were still dating. Uh, their family is I don't want to say well off, but they had like a nice house. He had a nice manufacturing job. They stayed at one place. My parents were temp workers most of their life until they got to worldwide technology. But yeah, that's there was a funny thing where we were sitting around. We went on vacation to a lake by Branson because they had a boat. Me and Courtney's family. Um, and each day, we at their house or their little cabin that they rented. We had our own cabin, and Courtney's sister had a cabin, and we'd all sit there and we'd all meet up at Courtney's parents' cabin. and then they would tell stories about growing up and like how they had like a nanny and stuff like that. And then one day they're like, "Hey, Mark, why don't you tell us about how you grew up?" And I told my stories, and like after I was finished, there was like a deafening silence. Like no, it was like, "Oh shit!" It's like, how do we even go? How do we even say anything about this? And finally, her because her Courtney's dad also kind of grew up in a rough childhood, and he was like, "Yeah, well, you made it though, right?" And I was like, "Yeah," but it was like, man, a good 2 or 3 minutes of like the loudest silence ever. And yeah, the dude was abusive. He had a paintball gun and he shot his kids. That was fun for him. He used to shoot us with paintball guns, um, like a fucking piece of shit. Like I would just love to confront this man if he just had any kind of decency. I'd just love to confront him and say like, "What the fuck is your problem, dude? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? You piece of garbage!" Like, I get that he had a shitty stepdad as well, but like, you just continue it. You just think that's the okay thing to do. Like, go fuck yourself. You look at his son especially. My brother Brian is bouncing couch from couch. Left his he's left multiple women that he's had kids with. His first kid he had like a long time ago, and like I remember, and then he started dating this one girl named Katie, and they had 2 kids. Oh, they had one kid at the time, and it was a Father's Day thing. We went to my grandma Cindy's, and it was a Father's Day cake for me, Brian, and then shithead Kenny. And I was like, "Hey guys, Brian has another kid that we're just gonna forget about. Like, he just left that kid behind." And I just everyone just forgot that he had another child, and we were just ignoring it. And then there was yeah, Kenny's a piece of garbage. Like, but like I hope I don't know. I don't know where he works anymore. He used to work at Worldwide Technology till he quit, and then he got drunk on the job, and because they brought him back, and they got drunk, and then had to fire him because again he's a piece of garbage human being. And yeah, I would just love to tell him this to his face. Just beat the shit out of him if I could, to be honest. I'm not even a violent person. I don't talk shit, just talk shit. But like, he's a piece of garbage, and he needs to know it. But no, this is really nice getting it all out and saying it in person. Therapists don't like you saying like cussing like this, which is kind of funny. But yeah, like dude's garbage. All you can say about it is what it is. It's done now. The sad thing about my mom dying is that I was able to accomplish all the stuff I've accomplished now, and it's not even here. Like that sucks, right? You like, mom. Not only did I took off from where you left, but like I'm a supervisor now of that same department. Uh, I mean, hey, look, say you know about the podcast. It's 100 episodes, 1,200 downloads. Someone's listening to it, so you're getting the downloads and stuff. Uh, house, car. I mean, get all this stuff accomplished, and all because Kenny, the fucking dirtbag, and let her die. But I hope he lives with that guilt forever. I feel much better now, at least. Of just saying it out there and getting it out there. And again, I'm doing far better than I ever could imagined. And yeah, I think it's all in spite of him. But that is the 101 episode of Marco's See the Movies. I hope you enjoy it. Uh, Mortal Kombat will come out this week. We're gonna get that episode. I'm praying to get this helmet. I want this helmet so bad. So that's all I can think of. and yeah, we'll go from there. As always, guys, go watch a movie, nerds.